Hello, welcome to Talkin Kop. It's me, Chris Brack. I'm here with Kev and here with Ashley, and it is finished. Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. We've finally beaten Real Madrid, first time since 2009. Thank Christ, because I'll tell you one thing, Kev, I was quite chilled, and I think I messaged you about 2 minutes of the game going, I fucking hate these. Can we win?
It felt like that the minute the game kicked off.
Welcome to my life after listening to Jude Bellingham yesterday. 2 minutes of listening to Jude Bellingham on Sky Sports, and I just remembered everything of why I hate Real Madrid, and it just came back to me in spades. We were unbelievable tonight. Unbelievable. I mean, they talk about the Arsenal game last night being a statement win and what have you. Nah, sorry. That tonight was a statement win. You don't get any medals for it. There's no awards for it, but that is a dominant performance against the European champions, the mighty powerhouse that's Real Madrid, with their star-studded lineup. And don't buy into this narrative that they've got injuries. We've got injuries. That lineup they put
the threadbare according to TNT.
Yeah, well, that lineup they put out tonight, as they've spent some big money on that lineup, and they're a very young side with it all to prove, and we absolutely battered them. That 2-0 flattered them. You know, we were outstanding tonight. Yeah,
Courtois was excellent. So, but yeah, actually, new location, and we beat Real Madrid. Maybe we just should have done this a few years ago.
Should I just move here?
Yeah, just every time we play Real Madrid, just find a new location.
Okay, I'll just fly across the country every single time. It'll be great. It'll be very, very cost efficient.
Well, you are on the Mo Salah contract, so
yeah, I'll just phone up John Henry, just be like, I really think this will help the team.
You don't know Gap's contract. You know what the Gap's like. You get paid. You're the best paid one on the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mainly in crisps, but
Yeah, well, it's better than nothing.
Cool. So let's go for the lineup then. So, Kev, I think between us we got 10 of the 11 right, which I thought was pretty good. And I think we got the Madrid 11.
We got the Madrid 11 and got the Liverpool 11 bar 1. I think we both would have started Luis Diaz over Darwin Núñez. But other than that, the lineup picked itself. And, I think given the fact that you saw Dominic Szoboszlai running through Trico against Southampton towards the end, I think the midfield, it needed to be that midfield really, because you needed ball carriers. You needed players with energy that could match up what they were going to offer in the middle of the park, and it was exactly what was needed. It was like almost as if someone had a plan on how to develop this Liverpool squad when they decided to bring in the players that they brought in, and they thought, you know what, in 12 to 18 months, when they blend in, this squad is going to be very, very good. And you know what? We're very, very good. It's that simple. We really are. We don't. I don't think that. I think that last season there's a bit of a hangover and a bit of a fear with us all when we look at the dangers that other sides possess. But we don't really take into account how good we can be when we're really on it. And tonight we were really on it. From start to finish. We were unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this has sort of been building all season, really, as Liverpool have slowly got there. I think maybe, and it's easy as a fan base to do it, we're too quick to jump on the negative of, we were shite against Southampton, and it's quite easy to do that, but going, but Liverpool keep finding a way, and today wasn't finding a way. Today was very controlled and against a dangerous side, because I know there's no goals in the first half, but Madrid were dangerous on the break, so it was, Liverpool had to be on, sharp defensively.
Yeah, I mean, the players they have on the pitch are still, players that we wanted. There are multiple players on that pitch that we would have all given, an arm or a leg for a couple of years ago. And, so to say that they're completely spent or a depleted force or whatever they're trying to put out there, it's just garbage. Like it's it's another narrative. And don't be surprised if that's the narrative where, you know, it's still Liverpool haven't played anyone yet. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they're like, oh, well, that was a depleted Real Madrid side. We're, you know, we can't take that seriously, but screw them. Like, for me, that was the performance that we needed to see. We've been waiting for a long time to see this team click, and that felt like a fully clicked performance, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but like, I've been waiting for that moment, being like, yeah, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. This felt like this could be something going forward that like really works for us.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we'll talk about that. It's easy to talk about him now that we've won the game. Is fuck me, that referee loves a card. Jesus Christ.
For nothing.
And this is the thing that I think I despise about Real Madrid. There is that unconscious bias of Real Madrid, because some of the yellows and free kicks given out were balmy, and the other way they weren't given. You know, and this is where you got to give credit to someone like a Gravenberch, who's he's in a position that is, you have to put your tackles in, you're going to put your foot in, and he gets an early yellow. And to be fair, manages that yellow really well. You know, against, you know, clever players. You know, Camavinga and Modric especially, they know what to do. They know how to draw the fouls. But we'll go through the game in a minute. And I'll make Kev wait because it'll wind him up. Connor Bradley. No, because you can't talk about it.
Take a bow, Connor Bradley. Like, that was his like announcement onto the world stage, I think. Like, for anyone that doesn't know Connor Bradley, they do now.
Yeah, that's setting your stall out on a big stage. You know, that because listen, Mbappe was getting pelters in the commentary, you know, but there's a reason why he was quite effective. Is you've also got to give credit to the right back, who kept him quiet. I think he was well supported by Konate. I thought was excellent covering behind, and Gravenberch getting over to him, but he still kept that attacking threat that we needed. He just got the balance perfect, you know. So that, what would you say, Kev? It's a bit of a coming of age performance, that, because, you know, Kylian Mbappe is no joke. We've seen Kylian Mbappe make fools of a lot of people, and his pace is scary and blistering.
That was a massive test. In the first half, he didn't really venture forward beyond the ball. Beyond the ball too often, did he? You know.
No.
So we were very measured in our approach in the first half for the vast majority of it, where the spaces between the players was really small. We played the game in small areas. We kept the passing really close together, so there was very minimal risk, and we drew them onto the ball and just passed around them. It was, do you know what? It was a real continental type of performance. If that had come from a Spanish team, you'd be like, yeah, that's what you expect. But Bradley didn't really get ahead of the ball in the first half too often. I was a bit nervous when he did it a couple of times, because you could see what they were trying to do. You know, they were trying to bring Bellingham inside, let Mbappe go, try to isolate Konate, and we were very aware to it. We were really alive to that possibility. So Bradley trapped back really well. I thought for the vast majority of the game, Bradley defended brilliantly. And we will get onto that tackle in a minute, but overall, his performance was absolutely outstanding. You say coming of age. It was a massive acid test to see what he's really capable of on the big stage against arguably one of the top 2 or 3 left wingers in world football. You know, with a point to prove, by the way. Kylian Mbappe at Madrid hasn't hit the ground running like Madrid wants him to.
He's in his favorite
pressure.
position too.
Exactly. He's under massive pressure. And he didn't have Vinicius Jr. in the side where, you know, the Spanish press could look at one or the other. The focus was all on him. Madrid were tactically set up in, like, it was, we saw this with Carlo Ancelotti a lot when he was at Everton. Played 4-4-1-1. And Bellingham was hanging out on the left, but he really wasn't. He was tucking in narrow and allowing Mbappe the space to drift. So, I mean, Mbappe was playing through the middle, but he drifted out onto the left an awful lot. And I thought Bradley and Konate managed him absolutely superbly. You know, let's not mince our words. If we'd have signed Kylian Mbappe in the summer, we'd have been over the moon. He's one of those. He's a special, special player. And here's this kid coming up from the youth team. If you'd have said 2 years ago, by the way, Conor Bradley, that kid who's playing in the under-21s, he's going to be playing against Real Madrid, and you're going to be raving about him. I'd be like, yeah, okay, we've had that right back trick done once. We're not having that right back trick done again. Well, yeah, we kind of have. He's special. Conor Bradley is really special, and so much so that we were able to leave Trent on the bench and never worry about it. It wasn't really a thought, we better get Trent on for the last 20 minutes here. Bradley's getting a bit leggy. It was like, no, he's good.
The other sign of, because this is the season of narratives, Ashley, the other side of how well Liverpool perform is, you never once, because I was waiting for it, because it's a TNT thing to do, is when they're going to pan to Trent. Like if Madrid score or Madrid are on top, they're going to pan to Trent, going, wonder where his mind is. That story's coming.
Yeah.
I don't think Trent was shown in telly at all. They just went, I said,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a bit where TNT in the UK decided we'll start panning across the crowd of all the famous Real Madrid fans that were there, and you could hear screaming in the crowd because the game was going on and they forgot to show the game.
Definitely, there was a point where there was like 30 seconds of just footage of the fans, and I'm like, there's a game going on. Like, I want to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, they're like, oh, is that Rafael Nadal? I don't care.
Yeah.
I generally don't care.
I think that there was like at least 10 seconds of like Benitez like writing notes. I'm like, I don't care.
We had Ali McCoy's debate, Ali McCoy and Belen Fletch, which is his new name, debating whether was he phoning in his match report or was he checking his betting odds. And you're like, it's Rafa Benitez. All he does is talk football. It's very much down.
No, the RT commentary over here was saying that's his shopping list to get the messages on the way home tonight.
Yeah, probably.
Stop in the petrol station, pick out, I need bread, I need milk, and you need some ham for the morning.
For
your sandwiches. That's what that was.
Should we talk about the game for a bit?
Sure.
I actually thought the first half, Darwin was a pest that you want, which is, we'll talk about his yellow card, but he just kept Rudiger busy. Because these things do to pull on the young lad, and he did give the young lad a bit of a game, which to be actually, I thought Raul Asensio played well. You could see that's a good prospect they've got at centre back, but when a player's going to, Rudiger starts doing his smiley face and laughing and joking and pushing players, he also knows that's because it's getting under his skin a little bit and it's annoying him. And I thought he was unlucky with a couple of chances. He nearly caused the own goal and he forces Courtois to a couple of good saves. But I actually thought first half, that was what you needed from Darwin. There was still the odd silly free kick and all that. But look, you're not going to get perfection. But I thought justified being picked as the number 9 for the game.
I mean, I'm personally glad, like, every time he gets a yellow card, and he got a yellow card early for that tussle, like, where he kind of got hit in the face. I had sent you guys a message. I was like, he needs to stay on the right side of crazy, because he can quite easily go to the wrong side of crazy. And granted, he doesn't actually have a horrible record when it comes to red cards. I think he only has the one. But
good red card, though, wasn't it?
I mean,
if you're gonna go big.
I guess.
It was one of them.
But that's what I was worried about. I wasn't worried about him being a pest. I was worried about the ref being card happy and the whole Real Madrid bias throughout the entire game. And I was worried about that going against Darwin. And I think, for all of that, for me being worried, he actually did quite well staying on the right side of annoying, which is hard to do. But for me, that was the big takeaway. So yeah, he was a pest, but he also reeled it in just enough so that he didn't get the team into trouble.
Control chaos. Bob, that's what you want.
Great show, Bob.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. Because I thought him and Mo first half were really effective. I thought Diaz was involved. Kev, probably nitpicking. He was probably the most sloppy of the ball out the three of them. But he's a winger. They will try things. So you're not going to get you're not going to get perfection. But do you know what I mean?
No.
But I thought, Mo and Darwin first were most effective. I thought the midfield three got the balance right of battling, pressing at the right time, took risks where, sometimes they got a break when it took a last-ditch tackle. It took McAllister getting the type of yellow card that you, me, Kev, love. It's actually
Yeah.
the type of yellow card that we should have took at Forest and for the Southampton second goal, where to clip his heels, take the yellow, go, well, I'll move on. I thought Liverpool were getting better, a bit of snide, because let's be honest, Madrid are brilliant at it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the one thing, I'll go back to Luis Diaz for a second. The one thing Luis Diaz did really well, he kept Valverde in his place. He didn't allow Valverde to drift into midfield, which is what I think Madrid wanted to do. Do you know the kind of thing that we've done with Trent? We've seen it tonight with Bradley and Robertson, where they'll come up so far into the halfway line and then they'll both drift in. I'm convinced Carlo would have wanted Valverde in the middle of the park as much as possible, if anything, just to save Modric's legs, But because Diaz was a constant pest, annoying him more or less anytime he got on the ball, and he held his width really well, he couldn't go on a wander. But the midfield, we had a great balance tonight of players who can give and go really quickly. They can give and go at the right time. But they also can carry the ball. And they can get you up the pitch 20 yards. So, and that's all three of them. Even if Gravenberch wants to be that one to overlap on his midfield partner, the other one, like McAllister, knows to sit. I mean, there was a couple of things in the first half. There was the Bradley tackle on Mbappe.
It's a tone setter, that is it. In the big European games and the big atmosphere, there's normally something that's the tone setter, and it's either a big tackle, or if it's Arsenal, you wait for Arteta's head to explode and start a fight with Jurgen Klopp. It's some sort of needle.
It's something. And I mean, I thought that, look, the crowd was, I had a few texts tonight off my sister, my sister and her husband, they go over to Anfield quite a bit. And she said to me, like, after that tackle, the crowd got up. And then the atmosphere came in waves. And that's how it goes at Anfield. It's like, it's not going to be like, I mean, some people complain about the atmosphere and stuff. If you want constant shouting and drum beating, go watch the Bundesliga, because you get immune to it after a while. It's just a non-thing.
It's like the Vuvuzelas. It's like the Vuvuzelas in South
in 2010.
Yeah.
The crowd at Anfield, the noise comes in waves with the tone of the game, and it was bubbling up. The atmosphere was really good, and then on 30 minutes, which is when that tackle came in, it just went up a notch, and then it went up a notch again, and then again, and it was like, they're going to drive this ball into the net eventually, because the crowd were just demanding it. And as for the vast majority of that half, we suffocated them into their half. Yeah, they got a couple of breaks on the counter, but it never came to anything.
But also, it's Real Madrid. They're going to.
They're going to. Of course they are. But I thought, I've never seen us do that to Madrid in such a controlled fashion as what we've done tonight. And we've played them enough over the recent years, where we've seen, even under Klopp, where we dominated games and we had loads of chances, and Courtois had the night of his life.
Well, 6 times we played them under Klopp.
I don't think we were. But I don't think we were as controlled.
But I think that's kind of the key
tonight.
that got us over the line. I think before it felt like a basketball match where it was end to end and there was no control. Like, there was always so much emotion, and there was always so much history. And we'll get to Slot's quotes later, because there's one in there that I'll hint at. It's basically, he said, just forget about the shirt of the players that you're playing. Forget about the team that you're playing. Play your game and play what you're good at. Don't worry about the fact that it's Real Madrid. Play like the tactics that we set out. And I genuinely think that is what set it apart today. It wasn't all end to end. There was emotion in it. There was passion, but it was controlled. And I think the control is what we've been missing against them.
Well, what you're saying there, you can imagine just what you just said there. You can imagine a halftime team talk.
Yeah.
Because it did change. It really did change in the second half when we upped it. But I mean, the first half, I just reading here. Liverpool created 4 point. I know some people hate this, but Liverpool have created 0.46 expected goals from 6 shots, with 3 of those being on target. Madrid struggled to produce too many opportunities, creating 0.12 xG in the first half, according to Opta. Now, at the end of the day, you don't expect. You always expect these games to be tight, in terms of chances and what have you. But I thought Courtois pulled off a couple of good saves in that first half. There was one from one from Diaz, where he just got out and smothered the ball, and there was nothing Diaz could do about it. And Darwin had a half chance as well.
Yeah, he closes the gap down so quickly, so it helps.
I mean, he got a bit of stick in the commentary from what I was watching, but I still think Thibaut Courtois is a top class keeper. He ain't no good with the ball at his feet, but he's from that old school of keeper. He is a good shot stopper.
Yeah, on the English comms, it was they were more focused on it was a good save, which it was, and Darwin got himself to the position he should be in, got a touch on it, and it's a good save. It's a weird one. If anything, if Darwin mishits it, he probably scores. But sometimes he looks in.
You see that so many times in games, don't you? But
if you
I was so relaxed at halftime. Yeah, after that first half performance, I was so chilled.
It's like the Armstrong goal, the penalty. His rebound, he mishits, and it bounces under Kelleher. If he hits that squeeze, Kelleher catches it. That's just sometimes the look of the game. But half time then, Ashley, how are you feeling? You were quite well behaved in the chat. There was no sort of swearing, so I thought you were quite calm.
I mean, I didn't have our Telegram chat open, so I don't know how it was going.
Oh no, I didn't look at that. I was
okay. I had several little children like buzzing around me. So for me, my halftime was just, taking 5 minutes of peace so that I could write my notes. But I felt good. I felt like there was, I think in the last couple of games, we have done the whole like feel each other out for the first half of games, figure out where their weaknesses are and whatnot. This felt like, I don't know, like our levels were a little bit higher than usual for the first half of a game. It didn't feel so like lackadaisical. It felt very purposeful, and it felt like we still had intensity there. But I think what excites me now is that I know that the tactics are going to change in the second half. And I know that the slot ways to kind of turn the dial up strategically in the second half. So I'm excited at halftimes now. And I think Klopp did that as well, where, I was excited for him to get the chance to speak to the team and get his message across, because usually there was a reaction. And I'm not saying that we needed a reaction today, but what I still am excited every time Slot gets to pull them in, because I think you can see like just little tweaks where he can just make the team more effective. And so I'm excited at halftime now.
Good. Kev's, you're on a different show, mate. Come here. Sorry, we'll come back to Kev. He's doing family matters. So second half starts, and there was a few early chances before the goal. Kev, you joining in this one or no?
Yeah, I'm back in.
Okay, sorry.
No, look, the boss is home, so at the end of the day, you got, I forgot to tell her that we had a game today, and I was on the pod,
that's you getting divorced.
Nothing like an overreaction, though.
Depends who you're married to. I pre-book mine in to make sure I'm okay.
I mean, the start of the second half, the intensity changed straight away. First thing that happened at the very start of the second half, within a minute, you saw the very first Virgil van Dijk switch out into Mo. Didn't see it at all in the first half, not once. And Bradley pushed on a lot further very early on in that move. And that set the tone for the rest of the second half. He, for the first half, really controlled. The back four kind of stayed in the same line. Yeah, the fullbacks went forward a little bit, but in the main, they kept their shape. Second half, Robertson went, Bradley went, and we just smothered them. And Bradley was unlucky. I think it was a header a few minutes before, and just couldn't quite get it into the corner.
Yeah, it's good save.
But it was a brilliant cross. It was a brilliant pick out from McAllister, because You don't expect Bradley to be in behind. I think it was in behind Rudiger in that space, but McAllister saw it and he picked him out perfectly. But Bradley just couldn't get the power and loop on the header because there was no pace on the ball. He had to put all the pace on the header. And he just couldn't get it into the corner far enough. But a couple of minutes later, the goal came. And it was just a simple 1-2. You know, we'd been threatening it, but it was really brought on by the overloads around the edge of the box. They just couldn't cope with the numbers, mainly because Bellingham and Mbappe have absolutely no interest in defending. So once you freed up Bradley to be that extra body, then he had the composure and the calmness to just, that's the ball. Here you go. Have that. 1-0. Thank you very much. And it's been a long time since I let out a roar like that when it went in, because it was just so deserved. It was exactly what we deserved. It wasn't a case it was against a run of play or it was a deflection or it was dodgy or anything like that. Completely, totally deserved to be 1-0 up and maybe even more at this stage because we were completely dominant.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, the goal, it was just a brilliant spin by McAllister and it's the way to pass for Bradley and it's just a clean hit. And it has to be a clean hit in the corner to beat Courtois because, you know, we all know he's a nightmare to get the ball past.
Yeah. I mean, there was just a period there of applied pressure. I mean, right before that goal, there was a great shot from Bradley that Courtois did save because, you know, Courtois was really top form. I think he was their player of the match for their team. But yeah, there was like continuous pressure and to see it pay off, I don't know. And McAllister is just such a deserving goal scorer. I feel like, you know, seeing him push up just that little bit more today, he did drop back as the game kind of progressed for a little bit of more defensive stability, but seeing him in that more advanced role, getting that opportunity to shoot, I don't know. I love seeing him creatively have that outlet there. And, you know, just like Kev, I mean, I was thrilled when that went in because I don't know. It's like, it's one of those teams that you just, like, you desperately want to beat them. And this felt like we were on track. And so when the ball went in the net, I was like, okay, good. Like we finally see it on the score sheet.
Yeah, I agree. So, to be honest, Liverpool were dominant then for a while, and we kind of thought it's going well. It's all looking good. They make a couple of changes. They bring on Lucas Vazquez, and they bring on Ceballos because it looks like Camavinga had done his hamstring, which meant they could free Valverde to go centre mid, which I messaged you, Kev, going, oh, shit. Because you and me both love Valverde. We thought, oh, no, don't want him in centre mid. I could do without that, to be honest. And then the penalty comes. It's one of them. The VAR's never going to overturn it. It's soft, but he just turns Robertson, and guess what? That's not to Robertson's age. That's just quick player turning a fullback. Happened against that. The contact is so minimal. It's not enough to knock him not enough to knock him over. And if you know, I've seen some say it's a Stonewall pen. I see plenty of pens like that. Tackles like that not given. So
yeah, I mean, all Robertson did really was he planted his foot and he gave him something to fall over. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of them. You actually do see them given more often than not. A forward, that's one that the forward bought more than anything else. And you know, fair play. They actually, when they made the changes, they tried to come into it a bit more. They were putting us under a little bit more pressure. That was really the first bit of sustained pressure they had on us in the half. And ball came across. I would say Robertson a bit unlucky, but it was really good play as well on the wing. And ball goes down. Mbappe, you're expecting, look, it's Mbappe, isn't it? You know, 1-0, and you're shit. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get back into it on the back of that.
I think I messaged you. I went, this is so Madrid.
Yeah, and we got to go and do it all again.
Because that's what they do. They're really good at it. Whether you like it or not, they always find a way of getting themselves back into a goal situation. It's like, for fuck's sake. But we've got this guy in goal. He's quite good at penalties. That's now 3 of his last 4 penalties he's faced, he's saved, and that's only the second penalty Mbappe has missed in the Champions League. What made it so good is how wide he got it with the save.
It was an awful
very well.
It was a horrendous penalty. You know, I mean, we'll get on to another one in a minute, but that one from Mbappe was ridiculously bad. Side-footed it, telegraphed it, no power, no pace, perfect height for the keeper. And the height and pace on the ball allowed Kelleher to just push it wide. You know, my biggest fear on that, genuinely, because Kelleher made that look so easy, was his foot off the line? And it wasn't until they showed the replay behind the goal, you saw his foot was on the line when he launched. And I thought, wow, he just made that look effortless. And again, it was just because you don't expect Mbappe to make that kind of mistake. That was so bad, you know. And I thought, okay, there's your warning shot now. No more silliness. You're 1-0 up. Stop messing about. Just carry on doing what you're doing and just play the game. Play the game that's in front of you. Don't worry about anything else. But yeah, it was just it was shocking. You know, I was genuinely shocked. One at the miss, but two at like how comfortable Kelleher made that. Whether it's in his reputation, he got a bit of a reputation now as a penalty saver. But at the same time, we don't normally concede this many penalties. You know, so going forward, it's something that players can't be as rash in the box.
I mean, that was the one over the weekend was our first penalty this season.
No, it just well, maybe it's because it's Kelleher, and you know, it's just he's saved a couple for Ireland. It's just in my head now that I've seen him stopping a lot recently.
Hey, the more the merrier. If he wants to just keep that up, that's great.
I mean, he was really a bit of a passenger up until that point. You know,
I mean, he made a few.
That was his first save of the game.
Yeah,
his first save of the game was the penalty. Before that, he had nothing to do.
Exactly,
which is a sign of control, because
it's crazy, isn't it?
You wouldn't say that against Real Madrid. But then Ash, Mo goes down to the end of the pitch, and we've seen now in the same game, which good job I've sat down. I think Kev felt the same. We saw Mo get a free kick in the first half for being pulled back, which he never gets, and then he got a penalty, which also doesn't happen very often. And then he absolutely shanks it on the post. He just completely mishits it.
I mean, it's almost like the less said about it, the better. But yeah, it was a complete mishit. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm sure at this point, like he's got a lot going on in his brain. But that to me just looked like a mishit. I think he was going for precision, and I don't know. I don't know if he slipped on the grass or what, but yeah, I wouldn't watch that back. But I do. There was a great comment by one of the pundits on my stream saying, if you had said before the game that both Mbappe and Salah would get pens in this game and both of them wouldn't score, I have no idea what the odds of that are, but I certainly would not have expected that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done. I mean, also, Kev, I fancy Mo, but I mean, I fancy Mo to score most pens, but it's just a complete miss hit, isn't it? It's not. It's he just completely.
He almost hit it with. He almost hit it with the outside of his foot. Yeah, you know, it was almost like it was just. It was. Do you know what? And I mean,
Marge Apple saying, did Mo slip as he planted his foot? Said he looked like he. So maybe got bad contact. Listen, if I always say with Mo and that, if you're going to miss a penalty, miss it when you win, because then
miss it in a game where that doesn't.
It doesn't impact the result. You're like, oh well, okay, you know, it's one of them.
Yeah, but you know what?
Against City on Sunday, no one will give a shit.
Yeah, I'd be happy enough. But look, it goes back to what Keith is, and I've always said this as well.
You don't like lefties, do you?
I don't like lefties. I don't like left footers taking penalties. It just looks all kinds of odd. Looks all kinds of wrong.
It's called leftist. You just leftism.
I'm just left. Yeah, leftist.
You're a leftist, is what you are. You know what happens.
I've been accused of being a lefty in the past, but yeah,
you're a leftist. You are. I won't have this discrimination on this podcast.
I'm just hoping that it keeps him hungry for this weekend.
Yeah,
you know, he's going to be pissed off. It's going to be in his head. You know, and he's going to know, like, I want to make my statement, because that could have been another statement for him to have made. You know, on his little quest for the contract and whatnot. Now I want him to make the statement against City.
I felt he was going to go to that side though, because something in my head that he's gone to the keeper's left before to Courtois' left before, and he got close, so he went the opposite side to Courtois' right as you're
He
looking
did
at
the
him.
keeper perfectly. He
He did, yeah, he did, yeah. He just. But in fairness, I said the other day when he with the Alex McCarthy one, he done McCarthy with the height. McCarthy got really close to it, but it was the height that saved him. But he almost always takes his penalties with the inside of his foot with power. You know, so I mean, he might have slipped. He might have just got a bad contact in the ball. Whatever it is, it didn't cost us on the night, but he'll be kicking himself, you know, no doubt, because from 12 yards, he expects to be adding to his sally.
Yeah, I agree. But it didn't matter anyway, did it, Ashley? Because we keep bringing on this Dutch lad, Gakpo, and he just loves a goal. He's just really, really enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was one of those situations where Nunes comes off and you're thinking to yourself, you know, okay, is Gakpo going to play through the center? What's going to happen here? I think keeping him in his preferred position is imperative to keeping him in this form. You know, and I think he looks like he's enjoying his football again. I think you can see like there's more physicality to him this year. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it, but he just looks like he's enjoying his football more. And I mean, he was completely unmarked for that goal. Like I watched a replay and there was nobody around him. It was like he could have put that header anywhere he wanted to. But yeah, it was like an instant impact immediately off of the bench. Looks like a fantastic substitution. I think that's his 7th goal of the season. But yeah, I was just amazed at like the freedom that he had in the 6-yard box where there was no one there. They like, I don't know if Madrid was just tired or turned off or weren't ready for the short corner, but that looked so easy.
Yeah, I thought so. And good for Robbo, wasn't it, as well? Because, you know, gives the penalty away, but, you know, gets the assist for the crucial second goal, and that killed the game. That killed the game, man. Good routine.
It did, yeah. It was a really good cross, but it was a mismatch with Gakpo and Modric. I mean, Gakpo's 6'3". He's deceivingly good in the air anyway. So having him playing on the left wing, coming in on the far post, be it against a fullback or finding a mismatch in the box, he's pretty good in the air. He got really good contact on it. And 76 minutes, goal goes in. You're like, that's not saying that's it, but from there, you don't expect any more dramas, you know, and you know they're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. But it's like, I think we've gotten so much better at managing these kind of situations. And again, it proved the same again tonight. We managed the situation really well. Do you think, can I just say to people in the chat, there's some like 260 people in the chat, please hit the like button so more people get to see it and it gets into YouTube algorithms and all that lovely good stuff. So if you would do us a real solid and just smash the like button, really help us out a bit.
I mean, when you think about it, Kev, I think this is now our 19th game in all comps? 18th, 19th game in all comps? I think we've exceeded twice, which is Arsenal and Southampton.
Yeah.
You know, so it is. We're getting back to like the 1920 stage where you kind of go, a 1 goal or 2 goal lead, you're pretty confident then that we'll be all right because, you know, Liverpool are not conceding as many big chances. The only real concerns, Ash, at the end of such a fantastic result and a really good performance is Bradley goes off and you can see him mouth hamstring. The hope is that's more of a tightness than a pull.
Yeah.
Because we'll come to man of the match, but he'll definitely be in with a shout because he was magnificent. And right at the end of the game, Konaté's on the floor. I didn't quite see what he did.
No, it was Endrick. Endrick was trying to get at Konaté several times. I think he tried to take him down about 3 times. And it was like the very last action of the game, he tangled with Konaté in our box and brought him down. And there was just an update. I just put it into the chat. Slot was asked if he knew any more about the 2 injuries. He said, no, not yet. I know where they have pain, but it's difficult to judge so soon after the game. So there's nothing, you know, to kind of indicate what's going on. But I will say on my coverage, they showed Ibu walking off on his own steam. So I'm hoping that it was more of a contact thing.
Yeah, I saw a video, but he said it didn't look like a comfortable walk off. Your hope is
No, it didn't.
It's an impact,
Yeah,
crack on the knee or the ankle, and it's one of those ones which sore, but next day he's fine.
yeah. I think he got landed on or stepped on by Endrick. It was, but there were several times where he tried to like injure him. I think on purpose. And
Yeah,
I mean that obviously down to frustration in the game, but I don't know. I don't like when players go out of their way to try to injure the other team.
Yeah, Jonathan makes a point there. Endrick, basically, what about Endrick tried to get in between Van Dijk and Konate. It was like and they just sandwiched him.
Yeah.
And Endrick fell on him. And we saw this before last season when it looked like an innocuous challenge where someone just landed on him and it caused him all kinds of problems. So look, we don't know. Hopefully, it is just a case of
it's a sore one.
That's a sore, but it's like he stayed down a bit long because I've been in this situation before. I had it last year. I'm just going to stay here for a sec, make sure I'm okay. Yeah, it might be just a bit sore, but we probably won't know anything until tomorrow. We'll see if there's swelling or anything like that. Then all precautions will be taken with him, and we won't know until the press conferences. I'd imagine Friday.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from Arne Slot then as to what the situation is with him. But touch wood, fingers crossed. Smack wood.
Yeah,
he'll be fine. The Bradley one could be a touch of cramp. Could be. Liverpool players are very good at doing this. Milner
I call it the James Milner hamstring.
Yeah, it's the Milner thing. It's like I felt something's not quite right.
I'll sit down, and precaution over everything. And it was good to see Joe Gomez coming on at the end. Didn't need to bring Trent on. No need. He's only back in training 5 minutes, so Joe Gomez is there to come on and do a job and see the game out. And that's if Karate's out, do you go Gomez or Kwanzaa? I'd be tempted to go Gomez.
I'd go Gomez. I think
more for the because his pace, I think, is handy. It gives what you need from a Konate pace wise, and I do think you'll need that against City because City's attack, while misfiring, is quick.
And it's hard because we've seen so little of both Gomez and Kwanzaa this year, but the one time we did see Gomez, he was man of the match, basically, and he came on as a sub.
Brighton, I think.
He came on as a sub and he was man of the match. So, I mean, I it's not a problem I want to have, but I'm glad that we have two very qualified, very reliable people that could step in for him. But I'd hope that Konate is okay.
Yeah, I'd be leaning towards the line of experience. But the thing is, look, Man City has something like 20 odd efforts against Spurs despite losing. And you look at last night, they scored 3 and they threw it away because they're midfield and at the back. Going forward, they're a live wire. They will cause all kinds of problems.
The last 3 games have been like that because even Brighton, they should have got in half time 2 or 3 up.
Exactly.
And Sporting, they should have got in half time 2 or 3 up, and then
they just can't.
Their Achilles heel got them. So the key on Sunday is going to be you've got to weather that first half.
Yeah,
and don't let them get ahead of steam because they may not have won in the last 6. That's 5. 6. They're not winning the last 6, but I wouldn't you still.
They've been threatening to score a hatful in every game that they've been in.
At some point someone's getting a hiding.
Yeah, exactly, and they're capable of it. Let's not, we can all laugh at their expense at the minute and quite happily do it.
But don't take them lightly.
Yeah.
And I don't think Slot will. I think he'll have gone into this week, and the bounce that they'll get from this win tonight will give them an awful lot of confidence. That was the hope, that they get a good possible, not just a good result, but a good performance that they can bounce into the rest. The rest of the Christmas schedule. You just hope that tonight hasn't taken a really heavy toll.
I hope not.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I'll tell you one thing though. I saw Pep's interview after their 3-3 draw. I generally thought Matt's cat had got him.
What was that? What did he do to himself? Like, was it from him holding his head?
I think he's
like
only holding his head. It's got like that. I think he's caught himself with his nails,
Oh
but he
my
probably ripped his nose up. He looked like a cat had attacked him.
Yeah, he don't look well. He don't look right.
That looks like stress is getting to him.
Yeah, big time. He's under massive pressure, rightly so. They were saying in our commentary tonight, Carlo Ancelotti, just look, Madrid is Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Carlo Ancelotti is under savage pressure at Madrid now because they're off it in the league, and they're well off it in the Champions League. You know, they'll probably get in because of the fixtures they've got left, but there's no way that they'll have wanted to.
Don't they go to the Bergamo next?
Atalanta away.
They go to Atalanta, and I don't know who they got last.
No, but Atalanta away is no.
I mean, they've been
barrel
great so far.
Yeah.
I think if Atalanta beat Real Madrid, I think that qualifies them. I think it guarantees them qualification to at least the playoffs.
Yeah, it's far from done. It's far from a done deal that Madrid and even PSG go through in this.
PSG are they on a point?
Yeah, I think there's a fair few sides in this that are in a lot of trouble at the minute. I mean, not our concern. We're sat pretty at the top.
Well, I think Girona, who we play next, they're on. I think they're 30th. I think they've only got one win. I think. So
was it Girona?
If you were like the makers of the competition, would you be happy to see big teams go out this early, or would you say, "Oh no, I've made a terrible mistake"?
Yeah. Well, it's going to make the last couple of fixtures exciting. For tally-wise,
that's it. That's what they wanted. They wanted, something on every fixture, on every league game all the way through, and it looks like there is now.
Well,
there's going to be action all the way up and down.
PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern to a certain extent, they all need to win the last few games to at least guarantee the playoffs. But City and Arsenal will be looking at going, we need to keep winning because they want to avoid the playoffs. They want to get in the top 8 because that's the position Liverpool are getting themselves now is not quite, but you're almost guaranteeing now.
As it stands, this is the current top 8. You got Monaco at 8th, Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen, Atalanta, Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Liverpool top of the table.
Say that again, Kev.
The last part.
Liverpool top of the table.
Yeah, Liverpool top of the leagues. We love that. We
should
love that.
Both leagues, every league. If there's a league, we're on top of it. That's how it is at the moment. So let's do Ashley's favourite bit. Let's do the quotes because we like to give Ashley all the work to do while me and Kev just do vibes.
I know she's on her holidays, but yeah.
Cool. Go then, Ash. I'll put it on screen.
So the keeper, Kelleher, spoke to TNT Sport about his penalty save. He said, "I was confident and thankfully I went the right way again." He continued, "It's a big result. It's massive for us. We wanted to come out tonight and put on a performance, and well done to the lads for doing that." On Sunday's game against City, I think confidence is high in the entire whole squad. Man City, we know that they have had a tough few results, but what a team. We expect a really tough test, but this is ...
Oh, there you go.
No,
I don't think Kev's done the rest of that.
Okay, we'll just do the ... Use your imagination on that one. Let's see. So Gary Cahill, former Chelsea and Aston Villa defender on BBC Radio 5. We were so energetic today, which is to be expected at Anfield. The tempo they played at, the confidence they are playing with. I thoroughly enjoyed their performance this evening. Fun fact, Kelleher is the first LFC keeper to save penalties in 2 consecutive games in 115 years.
Not bad, that is it?
Not bad at all. So Slot was interviewed after the game. He said, "I told them to forget the shirt that you were facing and do what you do best." He continued, "We talk about Queeve, but I think you agree that Connor was a star and Curtis was very strong as well." On Kelleher continued, he says, "He has done remarkable for us, just like our other goalkeeper, but Queeve has done remarkable." He said, "I felt that we were a bit too impatient in the first half. Every time they threatened us, which didn't happen too much, but it was from us being sloppy." He has family in town, so he was interviewed about that. He says, "Sometimes my father gives me good advice. My main focus is on Sunday, but to have family around is a good thing. You don't have to be focused for 24 hours, 18 hours maybe."
Unless you're Rafa Benitez.
Yeah. He continued, you know how special it is to play against a team that's won the Champions League many times. They were a pain in the ass for Liverpool for many years too. It's a big week and it's pleasing to see.
He isn't wrong on that.
So Bellingham was interviewed as well. He said they were more up for us. They were more up for it than us, which is disappointing to say.
It's probably not a thing you should be saying out loud, that.
Yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, I talked about this already. He was asked if he knew more about the injuries to Bradley and Konate, and he said, no, not yet. I know where they have pain, but it's difficult to judge so soon after the game. So.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. So, Kev, I'll let you go first, because you always steal Ashley's. Player of the match, honourable mention, could do better.
Right, well, we'll leave off the last bit because I thought every single player to a man.
I did say it didn't have to be a Liverpool player.
I couldn't give a fuck about them, to be honest.
I've got a could do better, don't
worry. Yeah, look. Man of the match. Look, it's Conor Bradley in it. It just is. The guy had the hardest job of the game, arguably with so many eyes on him because of the position and who he's potentially replacing next season. The questions were going to be asked if Mbappe rinsed him, and done a job on him. The questions would have been asked about what are we going to do going down the line, but it was never in doubt. He was brilliant. Exactly what you want out of a fullback. Quality on the ball, brilliant tackle on 30, got the crowd up. And the composure in the pass for the assist for his goal was second to none. Absolutely brilliant. Honourable mention, and Slot mentioned him in his post-match, was Curtis Jones. I mean, I still think he can do everything in midfield. He can do the sitting role, he can do the advanced role. But I love how confident he is on the ball. People wax lyrical about Camavinga and Modric and that Madrid midfield. He did not look out of place. He looked well in that company. He looked a cut above in a large parts of that game. He's in that midfield on merit with World Cup winners and players of a caliber that are truly elite. And he's starting to show what Steven Gerrard saw in him all these years ago. Never lets you down. Will always put the effort in. And he's got such composure on the ball and quality. I thought he was brilliant. But that's not to take away from any of the other players. I just think that what Jones did tonight went unnoticed an awful lot. I think he was excellent.
Cool. Ashley?
Well, I mean, I think the correct answer is Conor Bradley. But if I'm not going to repeat, I'm going to give it to McAllister. Kind of like Jones, I think the work that they did in midfield, it goes a little bit unnoticed. And obviously he scores the goal, which gets us on the board and all of that jazz. But again, I really like seeing him in that slightly more advanced role. And I just think when he plays, the entire team plays better. And you saw that when he came on as a sub over the weekend, where it's like all of a sudden it's like the adults start playing and it's the control is there and he has that kind of metronomic quality to him where he just dictates the pace of the game. So I think he was fantastic. I think honorable mention.
Do you think that's because Jones plays? Because Jones doesn't mind playing the deeper role, whereas it feels like with Szoboszlai plays, and it's probably the instruction, he stays as the 10 and he stays high. It just feels like when Jones and McAllister, they're allowed to interplay a bit more, switch a bit more, and both seem quite comfortable.
Yeah.
So
I think I do feel like Szoboszlai could do a job a little bit deeper, but I don't think he has that skill set under his belt yet. I think he has the legs for it, but I think at the moment he and Elliott are both better suited at the higher role. I think McAllister and Jones can both sort of interchange. And yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe having Jones next to McAllister brings out some of his better, more aggressive qualities. I enjoy seeing him there. And I think that it worked really, really well today. And I could see it being something that we do in some of the kind of more competitive games that we have going forward. But yeah, so the honorable mention, I think I'd give it to Kelleher. I think, saving penalties, keepers are not supposed to save penalties. They're not supposed to save multiple penalties in a row. And he's one of those, I genuinely think that he's up there with one of the best keepers playing at this point in time. And we have the best keeper, and he happens to be coming back from injury. And I do think that that's going to be an interesting discussion to be had. But he wasn't called on a lot throughout the game, but there was obviously the penalty save. And then there was a great save at the end where it was sort of like a point blank, big kind of make your body big save that was very reminiscent of Alisson. So yeah, he'd be my honorable mention. And then I think my could do better is the television coverage, because I don't want to keep seeing shots of the fans when I actually want to watch the game. Because there were,
when you say the fans, do you mean like celebrities? Because I don't mind seeing the crowd, but which celebrities?
Yeah, no, I really should rephrase that. I knew what you meant, but
it's the internet; it'll get clipped in a different way.
Like, because Anfield was fantastic, so another honorable mention to them. What I don't want to see is the famous ex-Real Madrid players up in the stands, or Rafa Benitez writing his grocery list because there's a game going on and I missed about 2 minutes of the game because I was too busy watching them up in their fancy little box seats. So do better.
Cool. I agree. Bradley is the right answer. McAllister Jones. My honorable mention, I'll give it to Konate. I thought he was excellent.
I was going to mention him as well.
He had a really good game. Could do better. That bell end Fletch on TNT, I just can't bear him. Honestly,
didn't much.
Honestly, be glad you don't have him, mate. Honestly, he's unfucking bearable. He's proper cringe. Honestly,
yeah.
And he's got Steve Adam next to him, which is also pretty cringe. So, do you know what I mean? It's a hard listen, that But is good though. Aussie Dicko's just become a YouTube member, so thanks very much.
You guys mate.
You also become YouTube members. It's $2.99 a month, and you get to see all the shows. We do member shows, which you'll get priority on, which then are available later as a download. And we do funny games, especially international breaks, where I make quizzes up with wrong answers and just see people notice. It's good fun, isn't it, Kev? You absolutely love it.
I wouldn't know. I don't do quizzes. I got the attention span of a goldfish at the best of times, mate. Don't mind asking me to...
and Avo's got some slander here, which it's up to Ashley if she wants to address this rumor that apparently you're too busy.
I mean, we have a lot of very good-looking players on our team. I do not mind watching our team at all. I'll leave it at that.
That's a very diplomatic answer, that.
In fairness, this is true.
That's
Paul
true.
Giovanni does make a really good
job. Paul Giovanni's quizzes are unreal in a good way.
Yeah.
They are unreal.
Yeah.
Mine are hit and miss, but Paul's are brilliant. I much prefer the drafts. The drafts are well fun.
Yeah, I love the drafts. I enjoy the drafts.
We should get Ashley on a draft, shouldn't we?
Yeah, the drafts are really good fun.
But yeah, look, next international break, we'll do a draft. We'll get Ashley on it because I think that would be a good one.
If you do want to become a member, I think it's $3.99 a month. But if you do join, when you do, DM on X or on Blue Sky or any of the social media and let us know what your @ is for Telegram, and join the Telegram group and get involved in that, because that's every day.
That's worth the $2.99.
Yeah.
Just being involved in the chat. Like,
it is, because
you get all of us involved in the chat. Everyone on the show is there, plus all of the members, and the chat covers everything. It's not just football related. It's your favorite sandwich. Like, I know I'm not selling it with the favorite sandwich, but trust me, there's a lot of great content there.
Yeah, it's one of those groups that I guarantee, if you're sat in work on a day and you're bored out your head, you turn on the Telegram, put a comment in, and within 5 minutes, there's about a dozen people having a conversation about something absolute nonsense, and your day in work just scoots by. And you get the odd football chat. If you ever want
to talk like football stuff, or if you have something on your mind, like, there will be people actively there debating or having a great conversation. There's a lot of very intelligent people in that chat. Like,
there's also me and Kev as well. Which is not so intelligent. I'll say you do. I can see that group. I can see that coming a mile off them. So yeah, listen. Jerry makes a great point as well about McAllister. A lifetime's work to get to Europe, play in Europe, and then score for Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Special night for him. It is
massively so.
Very deserving, I think,
So,
for him to have gotten that goal.
The other thing to remember is our charity partners, which is the Lighthouse Cafe in Dublin and fan supporting food banks in Liverpool. So the aim is to get to €10,000, 5,000 for each charity. Details in the description below. If you can donate, please donate. If you can't donate, share it around WhatsApp groups, put it on social media, get the message out there because times are hard. If you're not aware of the word, Lighthouse Cafe helps feed the homeless in Dublin. And look, this time of year, it's hard, it's cold, so every little helps. And fan supporting food banks, you see them outside all the games, it's mental, it's 2024, people still have to go to food banks to afford to eat. But this is the world we're in, unfortunately. So if we can help, please help. So, right, before we go, there was one more question which came from Claire. And we'll leave you on this happy note because I think it's a very good question. Have we played anyone yet? Does this one count? Do we know? I mean, as a couple of pointed out, we haven't actually played anyone above us yet. So, we have to wait. That's going to be a challenge when we play someone above us. Venus.
I think it's got to be a while. Look, roll on Sunday night. I think you got to be going into Sunday confident on the back of that performance, on the quality of that performance, knowing that we can get better. I think a lot of players are going to be bouncing into Sunday with an air of confidence I don't think I've seen a Liverpool side have in a good while. Not an arrogance, but I think a confidence. That we're playing well.
It has got the 1920 vibe, which was you were confident what you could do, and you were confident you could hurt teams.
Yeah, and you're secure in the knowledge that if you concede one, some side is going to have to work really hard, and to concede two, it's going to be rare.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure we'll do a show before the Man City game, but, I'm looking at some of the results tonight, and the Liverpool one is a standout by a country mile. Villa did well. Villa got a draw at home to Juventus.
They nearly got a last-minute winner.
Yeah, and despite Villa ain't in any great shakes, that's a good result against a good Juventus side at the minute. Lille won away 2-1 to Bologna. Celtic got a draw against Club Brugge, which is good.
Which puts them level with Man City.
Yep. Dortmund won 3-0 away at Dynamo Zagreb. Benfica Monaco looks like it was an exciting one. Monaco 2, Benfica 3. And the last game on the list tonight was PSV Eindhoven 3, Shakhtar Donetsk 2. There was a red card in each of those last two. So plenty of highlights to catch up on. But I think everyone is really just going to be looking now to the press conferences to see what comes out, injury news. And all just hope for the best. That's all we can do.
Cool. Ashley, before we go, any more from yourself?
No, I mean, I think just look. I think when it comes to narratives, we've talked about it being a season of narratives. I think use your eye test. Don't listen to the media because they're going to keep spinning it. They're going to keep telling you that, there's some extenuating circumstance that means that we're not good. Use your eyes, watch the team, and gain confidence from how we're playing because we are a good team and the narratives don't matter. Just enjoy the process and enjoy the ride and hopefully enjoy this weekend.
Ashley, did you just say trust the process?
Did I?
Oh, full of Brendan Rodgers. Oh, my God.
Oh, no. I thought I was making such a good point. Now you ruined it.
Yeah.
Look, one thing as well. Happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow. Enjoy your trip with your family. Say hello to Marin and Bowden for us, and I hope they enjoy I hope they enjoy what's to come today and tomorrow. And you guys have a great family Thanksgiving for yourselves.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'm going to try to get them on and have them try all of the special crisps that I brought all the way over here in my suitcase, which may or may not have been crushed, but hopefully we'll have a little kids from the US react to Irish crisps soon.
Kev, this could be a new avenue for the channel.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Like I said, this is why we joined the membership for all of this random stuff.
Exactly.
Make it.
You don't get this in a football channel. I can guarantee you that.
Make it a members exclusive show.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So on that happy note, hit the bell icon, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So we're next back on. But listen, we'll leave you with this. It finished Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. Liverpool are top of all the leagues. What more can you want? Speak soon.